guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video of my favorite series following siblings. And this is a really specific kind of series that I love to read because family is so important in these books, and I absolutely love books with really close families. I live with my sister and I'm really close to my parents. I see them at least once a week. In the summer I was seeing them twice a week, so I'd go over during the week, but I'm really close with my family, so I really love seeing books where the siblings are really protective of each other. They're always in each other's lives, and that usually means that we see a lot of the couples in the earlier books with their significant other in the later books, which I absolutely love. And so in these books, it's always each sibling gets their own romance story throughout the book. I only have one series where there are multiple books per sibling, but I'm excited. I have a mix of historical and contemporary because this is really common in historicals, but I will get to the book recommendations. I forgot, before I get started, I do want to shout out a creator that I recently found that I'm really excited that I found because her taste is really, really close to mine, and I think she's a pretty new YouTuber. She only has 47 subscribers when I'm filming this, but she did do a vlog where she read all of my favorite books, and so I fell down a rabbit hole of watching a bunch of her videos. She recently posted her favorite romances of all time, and so many of them are literally my favorite. So if you like my recommendations and you have similar tastes to me, I would recommend checking her out. It is Red Over Heels with Elle. She loves romance, and let me see how long she's been on YouTube. So she started 7 months ago, but she's been posting a lot lately, and like I said, she did read my favorite romances, and I really love her taste in romance. So please go check her out if you have the chance. As someone who is kind of newer to the booktube community, go check her out, give her a follow if you like her. I'm excited to have discovered her, but yeah, so I thought I'd share that before getting to my recommendations. The first one should not be any surprise to anyone. That is the Ward Sister series by Carlos Renson. Granted, I've only read books 1 and 4, but I'm gonna go back and read books 2 and 3. I haven't read them yet because they're more in college. So the first one, our heroine is someone who works for a football team that her brother is the head coach of. Her brother, though, raised her and her sisters because their mom left them, and so she's really close with her brother, and she ends up being put in charge of this documentary and has to like be the liaison with the teammate that is in the documentary, and it happens to be someone she has a past with, and it's so good. But my favorite is book 4, which is the middle sister. So the oldest sister has the first book, and then the twins are the youngest, and they get books 2 and 3, but they're in college. But I'm still gonna read their books. I wasn't in the mood for college romance when I read these books, so I skipped them, but I'm gonna go back and read them. But book 4, she is I think like 25, 26, and she works for a gym, and her childhood crush, who was a famous fighter, buys the gym, and he has a single dad, and it's an age gap, so there's like a 10-year age gap, and it is so good. Like one of my favorites of the year. I'm obsessed with this book. You guys need to read it. So I love this series. I actually went back and read the Brothers book, which is book 4 in the like the Bombshell Effect series. I don't remember what the oh my gosh, it's like the Timberwolves or something, because it all revolves around the football team when he was a football player. So I had to go back and read his book. So we get 4 sisters, but then we do get the Brothers book and another series, but I love the series so much. Then we have the McClain Brothers series by Alexandria House. This one follows brothers, and a lot of them are pretty well known. So the first one, he's a famous rapper. The second one, he's a famous basketball player. And the first one, they were both single parents. The second one, he is younger, and her son actually also is a pro basketball player. The third one, he works in like, I think the movie industry, because the heroine wants to be an actress, I'm pretty sure. There are more books in here, but the third one wasn't my favorite, but I absolutely loved books 1 and 2, and then I love the novella in here, that's book 4.5, so 3 was just okay, but I haven't read 4, but I would definitely recommend reading this series. The next series I have is a series that I talk about all the time that I love, and that is the Bergman Brothers series. I only own book 2 because it's my favorite, but I really love book 3 as well. Book 1, she actually has rewritten parts of it because of the representation of the deaf character. So we have our heroine who plays soccer and our hero who is deaf, and they meet, and she's kind of mean to him because she doesn't know that he's deaf, so she instantly judges him and thinks he's being rude, and the hero's brother-in-law is their professor and kind of forces them to do a project together. It was cute, but I'm happy that the author did take the time to listen to criticism and rewrite parts of the book. And then book 2 is this one, is a hockey romance. She is on the autism spectrum, and she also has arthritis, so she does walk with a cane, and he is a pro hockey player. She works for his team. It's kind of forbidden, friends to lovers, very, very cute. The third one is a marriage and trouble romance, which I absolutely loved, and it's the professor from book 1. And then the fourth one is a Marriage of Convenience, and they're kind of friends to lovers, and it just came out and I read it and it was really cute, and he's an artist and he's on the autism spectrum and she has a chronic illness, and it's just really, really cute. I really love them, and you get to see a lot of the siblings throughout the series, and I'm excited to get more of the siblings romances. Then we have a series that I've only read 2 from, but I'm really excited to read more. That's the Malory-Anderson series by Joanna Lindsey, and so the one that I loved was Love Only Once. This is the first one, and the heroine is the one that's part of the family, and she has so many overprotective, I think they were her brothers. I don't think they were her uncles. I think they were her brothers. And then this one is one of the brothers that we got to see in this book, and this is his story. I didn't love this as much. This one's a pirate romance, and she pretends to be a man going aboard the ship. He knows that it's her the whole time, and he's the captain. And so this one is my favorite though. This one, she borrows a carriage from someone, and our hero, it's the carriage of his mistress, and he's like really annoyed with the games his mistress is playing, so he decides to like pretend kidnap her. Ends up kidnapping the heroine instead, and her brothers get really angry. I'm pretty sure it was her brothers, because like they're all related. But I've only read books 1 and 3, and I really want to read more from the series. Then we have the Wright Brothers series by Christina C. Jones, one of my favorite authors. I love books 1 and 2, and book 3 wasn't my favorite, but I still recommend the series because the first one, we have our heroine who is pretty much a graduate assistant for her mom, and so she helps like grade papers and stuff, and she kind of falls for this guy through his writing, but he doesn't get the best grade on his essay, so he goes to complain, and then they talk, and he does have a prosthetic leg, which I thought was a really cool aspect of his character to have in a book, because I don't see that like ever in romances, and he's older, so I'm pretty sure they're around the same age, but it was a really sweet romance. The second one is Pulling Doubles, and this one is a doctor nurse, hate to love, but he's like mean to her because he likes her. And the third one is I don't remember if they dated in the past or they were just friends, but they stopped talking to each other for a long time, and there was a lot of miscommunication in here, and now they're back in each other's lives, and I just couldn't stand the miscommunication. The miscommunication happened that caused their like rift in their relationship, and then there was more. So I didn't love this one, but I really love books 1 and 2. Then there is the Mackenzie McBride series by Jennifer Ashley. You guys know this is one of my favorite series. The first 4 are our main siblings, and then we have book 5, wait, I don't even remember how he was related to them, and I think book 6 is Cameron's son. So these are really the only like sibling books, but the first one's Ian's book. I loved it so much. This one, he's on the autism spectrum, falls in love with Beth, who was a widow. Then we have the Many Sins of Lord Cameron. So I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if they were betrothed or they have a past. So they met in the past, and then 6 years have passed, and now she's back in his life, and he's a single dad, and I really love this one. Oh yeah, and she's working for the Queen. I completely forgot about that. And then we have Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage, which is a marriage and trouble romance, and it was so good. Her husband is a artist, so really love this one. And then The Duke's Perfect Wife, which is the oldest brother's story. He is the Duke, and he is super protective in all of these, which I really loved. This one is the one where he was once the fiance. So this one, they had met 6 years ago, and now she's back, but this one, they were engaged, and now they're not, and it's their kind of like second chance at love. I get a lot of plots mixed up when they're in the same series, but I really adored this series. Another series with siblings that I absolutely loved is the Destiny series by Beverly Jenkins. This series is just the best, and now actually book 1 is, that's book 2. Book 1 is not my favorite, but it was still really great, and what I love about these books is that the mom's story is like interspersed throughout them too, which I love. So we get to see her have her happily ever after in book 3, so it's really fun how that was threaded throughout. But this one, he's a bachelor, lives alone, and his mom ends up hiring a maid for him. He falls in love with that maid who like is helping around the house. She's definitely very headstrong. They butt heads. It's really fun. This one is a surprise baby one, and she is actually a prostitute, and the hero is like one of her customers, gets her pregnant, and then she is like in danger, and she doesn't want to rely on him, but she needs his help after she has the baby. So this one's so good. Like, I hate surprise pregnancies. Love this book. And then we have a female pirate, and she steals one of his ships. So it was, this one's so much fun. So I really love Beverly Jenkins and her circles. This one's one of my favorite series by her. Then we have the Morgan Brothers series by Lauren Rowe, and I actually started out with Mr. Bodyguard, which is I think book 4, and he's not technically a brother. He's one of their best friends, and he's like an honorary brother, but then we go back and get to have all of their brothers' romances, and they're so fun. So we have like a firefighter, a rock star, and a lot of different tropes. I can't remember, like Captain, I don't remember what he was, but I remember that one being hate to love, and one of them is friends to lovers, and this series is just so bingeable and so fun. Like I just flew through the audiobooks. I read it out of order, but I think it'd be a lot more fun to read it in order like I didn't do, but definitely recommend the series. Then we have the Uptown Girls series, which I just realized I haven't read book 2. I've only read books 1 and 3, but they are so good. If you like historicals but are tired of like the British historicals, these take place in America, and they are all about sisters who are all from like a wealthy family, but they are really passionate about helping those in need. So in this one, our heroine falls for her father's lawyer, and I love him so much. Frank was actually in her other series, and people loved him so much that she included him in this series, and she helps women, and she gets into a bind, and he has to help her, and they fall for each other. This one I'm pretty sure has to do with a gambling hell, and he's the owner of an exclusive casino, and he's really using her for her prestigious family, and she's using him right back because she wants to own her own casino for women. So I really need to read this one. But then this one, he is like a kingpin, and it's really interesting. She tracks down deadbeat men and forces them to support the women they left behind. So this one's a lot of fun. I really love the 2, and I'm excited to get into the 3rd one. But these women are just like not your average women in society, and I just love them. Then I have the Love by Numbers series by Sarah McLean. I definitely love the first 2 better than the 3rd one, but I think I still gave the 3rd one 4 stars. This one, it follows siblings. So we have, I think they're twin brothers, and then their half-sister, and I really like their half-sister. She like comes in book 1, and you can tell she's gonna have a romance with the guy she meets in book 1, and book 1 is my favorite. She is a kind of gonna be a spinster, and so she decides to make a list of things she wants to do and keeps on running into the same guy over and over again, and he's the one that she has a romance with. And then the 2nd one, he is trying to find someone, and she has a house of like people who need help and to be hidden, and so then he ends up coming and trying to find this person, and then they fall in love. And then the 3rd one, she falls for a duke, I believe. They meet in a bookstore, and it's really cute, but I love the series. And the last series I want to recommend, just because I can't do this video without talking about it, is the Addicted series by Kristen Becker Ritchie. This one is actually finding a lot more hype on TikTok now, even though we were all reading it years ago on BookTube, and I never finished the series, but I really want to now. But I adore this series. We have Lily, and then we have Daisy and Rose, and then they have an older sister, Poppy. And so it mainly focuses on the 3 younger sisters. Poppy like is already married. And so Lily gets a bunch of romances with Lowe, and then Rose is with Connor, and then Daisy is with Reich, and that's an age gap. They're all so different, and I really love them, and I love how close and protective they are of each other, and it's just amazing. And then Lowe has a sibling that's also in it as well, which I don't want to spoil, but I adore this series, and I really need to finish it. But I love how they all have multiple books, and how just lovable the characters are. And those are my favorite romances that follow siblings. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I missed a lot of series, but these are my favorites that I wanted to recommend. So let me know in the comments if you have any other series recommendations that follow siblings. I would really love to hear. And that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.